everyone, I'm Marilyn Beuster from Marilyn Beuster Wellness. We've got the gorgeous Jo Naidoo with us. She's a specialist, a psychiatrist with us, and she is going to give us the most amazing information today on mental health associated with weight loss and everything associated with our bodies and just what goes around mental health and just the journey with weight loss. Welcome, Jo. Welcome.
Thank you for inviting me this morning. It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
In my kombuis.
In your kombuis.
I love it.
Couldn't be more comfortable or homely.
Hey, Jo. Jo, it's so special to have you here, and you walked this journey with me.
I did.
Hey?
Thank you for that, Marilyn.
Hey?
Yes.
And look at you.
Oh, thank you.
Jo, take me through your journey. And the reason I have you here today is that you personally walked this journey.
I did.
Hey?
I think it was definitely a very difficult journey. I think the hardest part was certainly deciding I needed to do this. And I think with work and young kids and a family and, well, pretty much working 24/7 because I cover the hospitals as well, it's been really challenging to find time for myself. Until I reached a point where I realized I just absolutely had to do something. And actually you've been my inspiration, my neighbor inspiration. And to know that you've done this journey and you've achieved so much was certainly inspirational for me. And then I decided, after we had chatted as well, I needed to actually make time for myself. And it's amazing. You give this information to people every day, only to realize we don't take the same information ourselves. And then I thought, right, I can talk the talk, I know, but now I'm going to start walking the walk. So it was a good journey. It was tough in the beginning because I think when you said to me, Jo, I'm going to keep in touch with you and I'm going to be here with you every step of the way, I think I said to you as well, Marilyn, I'm a bit nervous that if I start this journey, firstly I'm going to have to get on a scale which I've not done in absolute decades, not just years.
Yes.
I think I was weighed twice when I had my pregnancy.
Yes.
But before that, hadn't really gone on the scale. And I realized I was actually just terrified, scared of what the numbers were going to look like. And I felt I was doing such a good job at just hiding it. You know, where you can hide behind the clothes, hide behind the personality, hide behind the makeup, and things would just go on. And so that bit of understanding and exposure and acceptance that I needed to do this and I wasn't doing it alone made me feel a lot more comfortable.
And I really think, jumping in there, I think having someone holding your hand, creating a little bit of accountability.
Yes.
And the thing about the scale, the scale that I spoke to you about is we hide behind what you say, the makeup, the clothes and that, but I think the scale creates such accountability for you. And we were taught that the scale was our worst enemy.
Exactly.
But Jo, it isn't, isn't it?
It isn't. But I think getting on and seeing the scale and the numbers go up at times is scary, and seeing it go down is quite motivational. But I think that the advantage to having somebody walk you through it is every time it went up and I'd WhatsApp you and go, Marilyn, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And you realize it's part of the journey, the ups and the downs. And you start to become a lot more insightful, a lot more reflective on what am I doing, what's working, what's not working. And knowing there's somebody there, non-judgmental, not criticizing you, not yelling at you and saying, Jo, come on now. And just saying to you, okay, Jo, let's look at what you've done, what's worked for you, and how we're going to keep things going, made a huge difference. And I think for me and my personality, I'm so used to being in a position where I controlled things.
Yes.
Understanding and accepting that I couldn't control everything.
Yes.
Was part of my personal journey.
Yes.
And I'm so glad I went on it because I learned so much, Marilyn.
Yes.
And I learned to love myself a bit.
But that's the thing is, what I also say to the clients, and Monet that's behind the camera as well, is that this journey is just let it go. And this is, and just the viewers out here, this whole little talk is about mental health. Just let it go. It's not a race. it's not a 100-meter race. This is journey. You get on the scale every morning, you weigh yourself, you brainstorm. What did you eat the day before? What did you eat 2 days ago? Brainstorm that 100 grams weight gain. What, you know, you don't self-loathe. You know, this is the weight gain is 2 days ago. Rather brainstorm what was the weight gain. Work with the Joe rather than fighting with the Joe, and work through the weight gain or the weight loss, and that's how you self-empower yourself rather than and this is how you empower yourself to the end goal.
Exactly.
And this is the love of the journey.
And I think the challenge as well is there's many reasons for why our weight would necessarily go up and then come down at times. And it has to do with things like you said, hormone levels,
yes.
Different cycles within your menstrual cycle that all contribute towards the slight increase in weight when you step onto the scale. And I think understanding your body and understanding these physiological changes makes such a difference to you, not just fixating on the numbers. And I think that was another good aspect of what I learned through my journey with you. As much as we got onto the weight and we tracked things, it was about a general trend and not the everyday extra 100
yes.
up or extra 100 down. Because you start to understand, look, I'm feeling good. What I'm seeing in the mirror is actually what I'm really starting to feel happy and proud of. And there are other reasons why it might have gone up or down a little.
Yes.
And so your fixation is more about the feeling and less on the numbers as your journey progresses, which is really lovely.
Yes. Yeah. That's awesome, Joe. And tell me, how does food, so as you progress, so now you're also obviously being what you do. So you obviously have quite a few clients coming to see you, and they are starting to notice, and clients seeing you. How does the food, mental health, and weight gain and weight loss impact clients when they come and see you? The absolute mental health. How does weight gain? I mean, when they come and see you, we all know. I mean, that's how you feel. How does it truly impact people on a larger scale? I mean, because that's what you do. How does it really impact people?
So this is an absolutely multifactorial, layered
Yes.
question. And if I can start very much with my clients or my patients that I see often. So I often see patients with a history of things like depression or anxiety.
Yes.
And they've come to me, and part of the symptoms of depression and anxiety are things like significant weight loss, because there's often a reduction in appetite. And at the same time, sometimes it's an increase in appetite.
Yes.
Because patients feel they're isolating themselves, they're really down, there's a lot of comfort eating, especially amongst women, which becomes really challenging. So it's about the variability in their weight at that point. And then they often would, for one reason or another, start the treatment, be it psychotherapy or psychotropic medication or antidepressants.
Yes.
And sadly, one of our biggest challenges with antidepressants has to be weight gain as a potential side effect. And to complement that, when we feel happy, often lots of us are socializing, going out, and then actually eating a lot more anyway. Yes. So the weight gain issue around just being in a better space can often happen as a result of the medication, but also because of what choices they're making. So I think at that point it becomes really difficult, because for many individuals, we all look at ourselves in the mirror and think, well, this is what we see. And as much as we understand we got to love ourselves from inside, it does start with the outside. And the reality is, if you're unable to see what it is that there is to love about yourself, it becomes very difficult for you to then expect others to love you.
Yes.
And so we doubt, why would my husband actually feel this way about me? And actually they do, because they don't just see what's outside.
Yes.
But I think nevertheless, this is a hugely important part, especially for me as a psychiatrist, because if people feel they're on this journey and they're just gaining weight and not loving themselves anymore, they're more likely to stop medication and more likely to end up in a position where they are struggling with their mental health again, and it just becomes a vicious cycle.
This loop.
Yes. And this is why within psychiatry we describe it very much as a biopsychosocial model, where you look at somebody's mental health and their well-being holistically. You look at how you could intervene from a biological sense, which is often medication, from a psychological sense, which is often their mental wellness, their mental strength, their self-esteem, their ability to love themselves, and then from a social circumstance. So you look at what it is in the environment that needs to change. So I think for my patients, especially those that have been well, and the biggest issue is around their comfort eating or about weight gain on medication, this has been such an eye-opener, because they've just reached such balance where I've said to them, look, you know, a lot of the other general sort of advice given around weight loss is around some form of medication, because I think at the end of the day we all want a quick fix.
No,
so it's like, tell me what tablet I can take. Exactly. And unfortunately most of these can rattle people's mental health.
And their medication.
And their medication. So they often don't go well together. So we've really been looking at clean, easy, comfortable eating habits that are sustainable and holistic, that didn't interfere with medications or their general well-being as a result, because a lot of the weight loss and appetite suppressants out there carry side effects, especially things like cardiac problems, increased, there are lots of challenges around that, increases anxiety, which can be a real issue. So I think for me, it's getting patients to a point where I feel I'm really and genuinely practicing holistically.
And you did this journey, and this is what's so nice, Jo, is that I did this journey too, and you carry it with such confidence.
Yes, exactly.
Because I did this journey, so I carry this with such confidence over to people, and because you can carry this over to your clients, say, guys, I walk this walk. I can carry this holistically, because what you're basically doing is you're eating this holistic, you're eating wholesome.
Yes.
You are not doing a starvation diet. We're not doing a calorie counting. We're not doing it. We are eating all our food groups.
Yes.
We are just counting out sugar, carbs, and this is the thing as well, Jo, that I say to you, we're doing a 90-10 rule. If you are seeing your granny or your Oma's little milk tart there now and then, it is what it is. And this is what I say to the clients. Yes. We are not following a deprivation mindset, okay? Because the moment, as you know, and even your industry, the moment we create deprivation, we're going to close the doors, binge eating and that. It's a 90-10 rule. So your whole eating plan is on a 90-10 rule. It's a holistic way of eating, and then we slot in the fasting, where we just bring in your insulin down, and insulin reduction then creates the inflammation, less inflammation, and that also then comes to your brain, where you fertilize your brain, and that helps for you and the mental health. We just, the dopamines, the serotonin levels,
go up.
And this is where the holistic way for your clients, it doesn't interfere with the drugs and that. And then the prolonged fasting comes in, and this is where I hold your hand.
Yes.
And
I've needed it, Marilyn.
I know. I think all
stick with it, Jo. Stick with it.
All the viewers need it. Come, guys, and stick with it. And
yes.
and also that little bit of a helping hand and the phone call. And I think we all need that human interaction.
Yes.
And the clients love it.
Yes,
you know?
It makes such a difference, because I think when you know you're hitting a bit of a low and your motivation is hitting a lull, you need somebody to go, come on, stay focused. You've done this. Look at how far you've come. These are the choices. Talk you through the practicalities of it. Because I think, like you've told me from the beginning, prepare, Jo. Put things in your fridge.
Preparation is key. Hey?
And
it is out there. Preparation is key. Hey? Preparation and discipline is key. And I think in life, preparation and discipline and anything is key. And that is in work and everything. But I think in mental health, prepare your day. Getting up in the day and planning your day. Same with your diet. Plan your fridge, and the weekends, plan your fridge, plan your veggie box,
Yes.
plan your proteins, plan your mindset, and I think all
You
of
can
that
achieve more.
you can achieve more. You know, whether you visually plan it, mentally plan it. I know for lunch I've got a bit of bone broth, I've got a half an hour in my fridge. For dinner I know I've got, you know, then you set up, and then you're not going to unravel yourself.
No.
You know, just like we do our kids, you know, that's the type of thing. And then, Joe, the other thing I wanted to ask you, and a client messaged me the other day, and it just sparked a thing that I did, and I think we do it sometimes to ourselves as well. We start our weight journeys, and I had actually another client message me the other day as well. We're now on this weight loss journey, and we start losing 5 kgs, 10 kgs, or 6 kgs. No one noticed. We do it silently. And suddenly people notice. And people are giving compliments. And the compliments are starting to flow. And suddenly, you're starting to fall off the bus. And I think I never told even my husband this. And suddenly you're just starting to eat badly. And you are like, you say to yourself, but what's going on? And you go into this self-sabotaging mode. Is it because you're becoming fearful of letting yourself down again? Is it because people are giving you compliments? Is it pressure? Do you think it's pressure?
I think it's everything, including pressure. But I also think there's a sense of, you know, when you've been, and we've been through periods where we've just felt overweight, you always feel like you don't fit in. And so I think when you're on a diet and you feel like, okay, so I'm going to do this, you already feel like you're doing things slightly differently. And this is what I've loved about the diet. To a large extent, you're eating with your family, and you having your bolognese, for example, without the pasta, but
Yes.
it's pretty much the same.
Yes.
And that sense of not feeling different, not
Yes.
feeling like you have to starve yourself and you've got to sit there with just you know, a bit of lettuce and let everybody else
Yes.
have a meal, has made a big difference. But I think when you feel like everybody is welcoming you into this clan of you are finally slimmer, or you're finally looking a bit better, and therefore you're not in this overweight category.
Yes.
You want to just belong. Because that I think drives a lot of the weight gain. So I think when you want to belong and eat the way you think everybody else is eating, and maybe therefore eat the way you've always done in the past. So I think that's where the crux of things come in. Love yourself. Love yourself enough to know it's okay to be different. In fact, if anything, it's not being different, it's being unique.
It's being unique.
Absolutely. And be confident about it.
Be confident. And that's what I said to the client yesterday and the day before, is go to the breakfast. Like I fasted till 10 or 12. Go to the breakfast, have your cup of coffee with them eating. It's okay. You don't have to have that pressure.
Yeah.
And when you get the compliments, it's okay. You're not going to have that failure, because and whether you go to the market, and you do go to Zara's, that beautiful custard cakes that sit there, and whether one day you've got that 90-10 rule, and you do feel, and you're in the public, and you sit and you have a little piece of custard cake, you don't have to have that pressure to say, I can't eat that. And you do feel like a little scoop ice cream, and you have that. It's okay to have it. You don't have to have that pressure, like I can't have sugar again, because you are following a wholesome lifestyle. But it's okay to now and then have something. You don't have to have that pressure that you every day have to have that. Otherwise, you are going to unravel.
Yeah.
And I feel finally when I got that aha moment, that if I have to go to my mom to have a little piece of something that is maybe not what we're supposed to have, and fall back onto my values, that I don't have that pressure.
Exactly.
And I think that's it.
And I think also, you know, when you are in that place where you feel confident enough to make the decision yourself that yes, I can have something, I can have my 10, you know, of a slice of custard cake, or I've actually had my treats for the week, or during this breakfast, I'm just going to have my coffee. But this comes to your confidence and your self-belief, and also self-loving. Loving yourself enough to risk disappointing somebody, or somebody think, having a comment
Say
about
no.
you. Yeah. And I think it's empowering, and I think it's lovely. We need to embrace it,
Empowering. I love
Yes.
that word, Jo. Feeling so empowered. It's another client. I'm referring back to clients because I speak to them so much in the mornings. My client says, "Ek het 'n braai hierdie Vrydag. Ek het 'n braai. It's actually Friday today. Oh, my friends are coming and we're having a braai. I can't say no." You can say no. And it's not that you're never going to have those things, and you don't have to feel that pressure. And I think just embrace this journey of weight loss, and also, Jo, this thing of diet box, holiday box, weekend box. And how did you feel when I said to you, put your diet box, your holiday box, your weekend box in one box, and have like a push and a pull, and don't throw it all in one thing. So when you go on like a holiday, not that we've gone on many at the moment, but say a weekend away, or a dinner, let's call it a dinner. So if you go for a dinner and you love a dessert, have a small starter and a dessert. Like, don't go all in enough in general. The same with your clients. Don't go all in. Just have like a push and play in life, and just compromise a bit, because then you won't unravel
No,
in
you
life.
won't.
And I think in general,
And I think not feeling so fixed that I cannot do this, I cannot do that, makes such a difference.
start the next day.
Exactly. And also knowing that you're living, because the whole point behind this is to have a better quality of life. So if you feel like I'm not going to go out because I can't have something to eat, then it deprives you even socially. And in the current context of the pandemic and social isolation, it's the last thing that we need to do is pull ourselves away from even small social context. So like you said, that push and pull, I think, is such an individual journey for each person. And by using some of the guidelines you've given us on how best to do it, each one will find their own push and pull and their own rhythm. And that's what's lovely.
Yes.
You find your own music ultimately, isn't
Yes,
it?
yes, yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I think it just works, because the more confidence you get, the longer you've done it, the greater your ability to know when and where and how you can do the push and pull that you described.
Awesome, Jo. Jo, thank you for having us.
Oh, thank
It's
you
been
for
a
having
pleasure.
me.
It's a pleasure. Viewers, take a few tips from today and just love yourself. Take it easy out there. Follow a wholesome journey. And if you fail today, start tomorrow. See you soon.